Welcome to the functional demo for Haven. In this demo, I want to show off the big puzzle pieces that make this game what it is. And to start with that, I want to kind of mention the story. The premise of this game is that you play as one of several characters who have been plopped into a mysterious ruins called Haven, which protects you from the surrounding enchanted forest, which is hostile to your existence. So by night, you're protected by Haven, and by day, you venture forth into the forest to collect resources, which you bring back to Haven so that you can make Haven more powerful, and therefore Haven kind of bestows more abilities and power to you. So this should sound very familiar. The game is fundamentally a roguelite. It's also an auto-battler in the sense that while you do play a single character who runs around and has abilities, most of the doing gets done by a set of soldiers which you recruit into your party, both at the beginning of a new run when you venture forth, and then also as you traverse the enchanted forest. So think of it also kind of like a deck builder, where the cards are kind of autonomous soldiers who fight on your behalf. In that sense, it's at least one step into an auto-battler. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to continue with the previous game that I had set up, and we're going to land in Haven. Now, Haven is the central hub where you start each run and where you return to after you either die or find a teleportation stone, which brings you back home. Cards on the table, this is by far the biggest work in progress in the game so far. We have the central monolith, which defines Haven, and then the surrounding walls, which appear to be pieces of other empires that have been stitched together. That's a little bit of a hint. Within the walls of Haven, you'll see that some villagers have set up their homes. The villagers are absent right now because I still need to build them. But most prominently, you'll notice that there are various places where you can interact with these little circles on the ground. These are absolutely currently placeholders for different shrines that I want to build in the future, dedicated to one of 6 deities or sowers that act as this universe's pantheon. Every one of these sowers are dedicated to a different aspect of the universe, and more specifically, an aspect of how you can grow over time. So for example, the god Fair, who's currently holding it up, is the martial god of your of voice and truth and your own abilities. And by contributing more resources to Fair, you can improve your abilities. Similarly, the god Dun is the god of soldiers in combat, and by increasing your affinity with the god Dun, you increase the number of soldiers that you can field at any given time. And there's similar improvement paths for every one of the 6 different sowers or deities. This is currently not super baked right now because I've been focusing on where you'll be spending most of your time, which is the game world or the forest itself, where 95, 99% of the game is taking place. In order to start a new run, we go to the teleportation stone where we can venture forth. Oh, by the way, this is Kate. Alright, let's go ahead and venture forth. This will open up a sequence where we are allowed to or able to define the starting build that we begin with for a new run. And that includes ability selection, the ability to choose a special bonus given to us from the villagers of Haven, and then we choose the troops that we begin with. Because I've leveled up all of my, or I've contributed all the resources that I can to the god Fair, I'm able to choose 6 abilities that I can roll forward with. 4 activated abilities and 2 passives. I'm not going to go into the details of what these abilities do just now. This is very likely to change and grow over time. But the idea is that right now I'm playing as the archaeologist. Think of him as a mix between Han Solo and Indiana Jones, but in like a D&D or fantasy world. So he's kind of a scoundrel, and he is, though he is called an archaeologist, he is in fact a tomb robber. The name is a euphemism. It's also worth mentioning that I recently rescaled the UI and I need to go back and fix that. Alright, so for our primary we get to choose between a few abilities. I'm going to choose the boomerang right now. That's pretty straightforward and easy to use. My second ability, I'm going to go with rune traps. I think they're kind of fun, and then we'll keep the rest. The ability to place a decoy, and then the golden chalice, which heals our units. Greed allows me to find more gold when I pick up gold, and pickpocket allows me to pick somebody's pocket when they attack me, so it incentivizes me being up close and personal. So this looks like a pretty good build. Next, the prosperity screen changes the availability of rewards based on how prosperous Haven is. So the more prosperous Haven is, the more, the better rewards I have to choose from when I first venture forward. So right now I'm going to go with a scoundrel. I think that sounds pretty good. I'll move on to the next screen. Once again, the scaling of the UI is currently broken, so please forgive me. Okay, so here we get to choose our troops. We have 118 gold to select when we first venture forth, but I'm going to save some of that in case we encounter a shot. There are two barracks that we can choose from. The standard barracks, which is available to all units, and then the mead hall, which is available to the player once they've contributed enough resources to the God Fair, which we previously noted that we did. So I'm going to put together a squad of 2 peasants, and let's do a skirmisher. And that should be a pretty reasonable starting squad. Alright, and now we're ready to venture forth. So here we enter into the campaign map, or the map of the Enchanted Forest. There are a bunch of nodes of various types that we get to traverse between in a fairly familiar way. There are different node types, most of which include skirmish nodes. This is where most of the fighting is done, and this is where most of the game is really played. There are alternative nodes, including here the training grounds, or the Dark Quarry, where you're able to do various things. For example, interacting with shops, purchasing units, upgrading units, etc. There's also a node type called the teleportation stone. So the idea is that over time, the forest's threat will increase as you spend time within a skirmish node, or as you traverse between nodes. Every node hop increases the forest threat, and time spent in these maps increases the forest threat. As the threat grows, so too the difficulty will increase, and eventually it will become unmanageable, and you will likely die, unless for if you make it to one of these teleportation stones and you can teleport back. If you die, then there is a penalty that's applied to the resources that you've been able to collect. And if you make it to one of these teleportation stones and complete a ritual that teleports you back, you get to keep all of your resources that you collected without that penalty. So with that said, in this demo, I'd like to race over to this teleportation stone directly, and let's see if we can make it. So first off, I'm going to hop over to this meadow skirmish, and we'll see that the rewards are a soul coin and a little chest there. That represents a item. I'll explain a soul coin in a moment, probably when my first unit dies. As a sneak preview, that's how you resurrect. So right out of the gates, we've summoned 3 of our allies that we recruited, and we know that there are going to be we're going to be facing the squad of enemies called skeleton peasants. So let's start with some unit commands. I can tell my units to move and attack. So I told them to attack in this general vicinity. I can tell them to rush over here. They'll rush over there, and we see the skeletons coming, so I'm going to tell them to attack in that direction. So here we go, they're fighting, doing a pretty good job, and we see that one of my units is running away. This kind of showcases one of the mechanics called bravery, where for some units, as you can imagine, a peasant, if they have low bravery, when they start taking damage, they have a chance to run away. Notably, skeletons are very brave, or rather they don't have a concept of running away, because they are animated dead, and consequently they won't run away. So you can include that as part of your strategy. As you probably just noticed, I picked up some experience, and I am now leveling up, and when you level up, you get to apply perk points to the abilities that you currently have, or you get to choose soul points. I won't read each of these, but let's go ahead and pick up Gravity Cube for the decoy, so that ability is more powerful. the idea is that while some perk points do increase the stats of your abilities, most of them should change the way that you play that ability. So I'm going to tell my troops to continue following me, and I'm going to go over to this node of gold and interact with it to essentially mine that node. This is one of the several ways that you can collect additional resources. Now, previously, I'm not sure if you mentioned, but it said that congratulations, you survived, you beat all the enemies, and as a consequence, you move on. So I'm going to move towards the exit of this skirmish scene, and I'm going to collect the rewards that were originally promised. So that is a soul point, and then we have an item, an ember rune. So an ember rune has a chance to apply bleed to any enemies who attack me. Let's see if we can get that to Frog. Let's see, I think we can go ahead and move on to the next scene. So we're back in the campaign map, and now we get to choose where we want to go from here. Because we're beelining to the end, let's go ahead and go to... Yeah, let's just go ahead and go on to the next scene. Now, I'm rushing because in this build there is there's a soft limit that I've applied to a player's progression, where similar to the game Ski Free, let's go ahead and make this get off. Attack here, and I'm going to start using my abilities. I'm going to try boomerang over here, hit that guy, and then I want to drop some of my rings. They'll take a moment to activate, and then should shoot at, yeah, there we go, shoot at the enemies. There we go. And then I want to drop my treasure bag. Looks like we've leveled up again. Just for kicks, I'm going to go ahead and beef up my boomerang. Alright, looks like we killed everybody. Let's go ahead and use the golden chalice to kill everyone. There we go. Collect some more experience and head our way over to the exit. It is worth mentioning that the number of maps that are currently demoable are relatively small, and that's by no means, that is an artificial number. Let's go ahead and pick up another item, in this case Crystal Power, which has a chance to apply slow to enemies. Some more resources. This is wood, one of the 4 basic resource types, and then we're going to proceed. So as I was mentioning earlier, we're currently at threat 5, and the game gets more difficult as threat increases. Because this game is very limited in its current state, and I haven't built out the end game content yet, there's an artificial limit on the player's progress, which is throttled by the appearance of a very powerful werewolf who appears when a player exceeds 10 threat. So for every scene that you pop into after 10, a very, very powerful werewolf will appear and attempt to kill you. It's very similar to Ski Free, the abominable snow monster who, after a certain amount of time, will chase you down and eat you. So we need to make sure that we keep our timeline for that in order to get to the end, which is worth them. So let's go ahead and move on to our next scene. So far, I think we've demoed abilities generally and player controls generally. This is a good opportunity to demo death. I'm going to try running away from this guy. He's likely to kill one of my troops. Let's see if he can do it. No, maybe my guys will survive. No, he's going that way. Don't like that. Don't love that. Oh, is he going to live? There we go. Okay, so one of my troops have died. Now, you'll see that a ghost comes up, and he pops up and resurrects. That cost me one of my soul points. Soul points represent... Oh, we got it. Okay. Soul points represent the kind of like life currency of how we can field a bunch of units, have them die, but not, permanently hamstring progress. You have a certain number of soul points that... Yeah, like that one. I forget what I was saying, but in a nutshell, the soul points are what allow your troops to be resurrected. And looks like another one just got resurrected here. There we go. Let's collect some wood and then proceed. don't believe I mentioned this yet, but after you complete this scene's objective, which is to defeat all enemies, rewards will spawn, and this proceed marker will appear. In this case, the rewards was a portal that I just picked up, and then a requisition portal, which allows us to add to our troops. Now, we currently have 3 troops, and I mentioned previously that by giving resources to Done, we increase our maximum capacity. Since we have 3 already, and we're about to recruit another, we're going to be over capacity, which means that in the next scene that we play or load into, we'll be choosing 3 random troops. So I don't want to go for a peasant. I want to go for somebody a little bit more strong, more powerful. And let's go with the yoke. There we go. These guys are pretty decent archers, and we will proceed. Alright, so now we get to jump into the teleportation stone. We're under level 10, or threat 10, and that means that we should be safe. Alright, here we are. Alright, gonna do some quick resource mining. And then here we are at the teleportation stone. So the idea is we need to stay here and defend this teleportation stone while it completes a ritual. Meanwhile, surrounding us, there will be quite a few denizens of the forest coming to try and stop us. I'm going to preemptively drop some runes and my training dummy, and then we're going to start the ritual. So the idea is that we should be able to survive with this group. We incidentally did not summon or spawn the archer that we added. This archer should do a good job. Drop some more runes. We're halfway, I think we're going to make it. This does get more difficult the more time goes on, so there's definitely that risk. Drop some more runes. I think we got this. Oh, yeah, we got it. Okay, looks like we survived. Alright, so this screen shows us what we've been able to bring back to Haven. So we brought back a set of supplies, and then wood and stone, which we can use to build up and Haven. I'm going to go ahead and return home. And here we are, ready to do it again. Now this was, of course, a very short game limit, mostly because this is just for demo purposes only. We could have gone and collected much more, but you get the main idea. You venture forth, you collect resources, you either die trying or you teleport home, and then you spend those resources to level up the various deities who can offer you better benefits, and rinse and repeat. So that's the game fundamentals in a nutshell. I am currently working on building out the more thorough and engaging process of contributing resources back to different sowers. So stay tuned for how I do that. Yeah, thanks for looking, and have a great day.